Mamselle Arlie possessed a good strong figure, ruddy cheeks, hair that was changing from brown to gray, and a determined eye. She wore a man's hat about the farm, and a old blue army overcoat when it was cold, and sometimes top boots. Mamselle Arlie had never thought of marrying. She had never been in love. At the age of 20, she had received a proposal, which she had promptly declined, and at the age of 50, she had not yet lived to regret it.
So she was quite alone in the world, except for her dog Ponto, and the people who lived in her cabins and worked her crops, and the fools and few cows, a couple of mules, and her religion. One morning, Masmel Ariel stood up on her gallery, contemplating with arms akimbo a small band of berry. They were the children of her nearest neighbor, Odile. The young woman had appeared about 5 minutes before, accompanied by these 4 children. In her arms, she carried little Lottie. She dragged Tynum by an unwilling hand, while Macklin and Maclet followed with irresolute steps.
Her face was red and disfigured from tears and excitement. She had been summoned to a neighborship Paris by the dangerous illness of her mother. Her husband was away in Texas. Mr. Ali, can you take me forward, please? Could you take care of my children? I'm so stressed about my mom that maybe Dyson and Leon is not here. Is there any problem if them? You can punish them if it's necessary, but please help me.
Yeah, don't worry. I will take care of them. I hope that everything turns out well.
Mamselle Arlie stood contemplating the children. She looked with a critical eye upon Markline, who had been left staggering beneath of the weight of the chubby laddie. She surveyed with the same calculating air Marklet, mingling her silent tears with the audible grief and rebellion of Tai Nam. During those few contemplative moments, she was collecting herself, determining upon a line of action which should be identical with a line of duty. She began by feeding them.
She was very inept in her management of Odile's children during the first few days. How could she know that the children had some peculiarities that she never imagined, like the Tynum's passion for flowers only when he had plucked all the choicest gardenias and pinks for the apparent numbness of critically studying their botanical construction.
Tinome, what are you doing with my flowers?
Mom always chokes me in a chair. She doesn't like that I do the same with her flowers. I'm always take a nap when I am in the chair.
And when the sun comes down, Arlie had to confront a little problem when she tried to order them one and all to bed.
Miss Arlie, what are you going to do with the little white nightgowns? Or what about the tub of water in which the little tear, dusty and sun-browned feet had everyone to be washed sweet and clean?
It Nom can do to sleep if before you don't eat him a story and Elodie could fall asleep at us without behind rock and sun too.
Mamselle Arlie saw that be a mother is one of the most difficult works that one person can do. Little by little, she learned how to take care of the children. At the beginning, she hated the stress and the difficulty that this situation produced. But at the end of 2 weeks, Mamselle Arlie had grown her abilities, and she no longer complained.
It was also at the end of 2 weeks that Mamselle Arlie, one evening looking away towards the crypt where the cattle were being fed, saw a bulging blue car turning the bend of the road. Odali sat upright and alert. As they drew near, the young woman's becoming face indicated that her homecoming was a happy one.
The excitement was all over, and they were gone. How sweet it was when they were gone. Mamselle Ollie took open the gallery, looking and listening. She could no longer see the cart. The red sunset and the blue-gray twilight has together formed a purple bit across the fields and wrote that hid it from her view. She could no longer hear the whizzing and creaking of his wheels, but she could still faintly hear the shrill, glad voices of the children.
She turned into the house. There was much work awaiting her, for the children had left a sad disorder behind them, but she didn't at once set about the task of writing it. Mamselle Arlit seated herself beside the table. She gave one slow glance to the room, into which the evening shadows were creeping and depending around the solitary figure. She let her head fall down upon her bended arm and began to cry. But she cried not softly, as a woman often do. She cried like a man, with sobs and that seemed to tear her very soul. She didn't notice that Pomto licking her hand.